All right, next up on the list of things to do today is just Inside Star Citizen, right? No big deal here. It is another game dev thing. Is this going to be better or worse than last week? I have no idea, but I certainly hope it's going to be better than last week because it can't be much worse, can it? This one is titled "Life of VFX," and it's just, I guess, because it's visuals, it might be better. So fingers crossed. Let's see.
Hi, welcome to CIG Cribs. I'm Mike Snowden, and this is where the magic happens.
All right, it's already worse. It's already worse, dude. What is this?
So VFX in video games, certainly in our games in particular.
Shut up and react? That's not how this works. You can't shut up and react.
It's basically it's energy represented visually. So your more typical VFX explosions, fire, all that kind of thing, they're representing that kind of energy and the motion and the force and the violence that comes through. Even things.
Hold on. Let me react. Oh, man, that's so cool, guys. Oh, yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. Neat.
Things like leaves getting blown around by the wind. It's motion in games. VFX are everywhere in Star Citizen. So there's coolant, there's steam, there's mist, there's fog, there's falling leaves, there's buzzing flies. If the player fires a weapon, they're going to expect some kind of payload for that. They're going to expect to see muzzle flashes, depending on the...
Bro, what game are they playing? Because my FPS experience never looks this good. Is this updated? Or is this just what it's like on a good server? Right? Like, just all the death anim, everything was just super, super smooth.
Weapon, of course, but they're going to expect to see impact effects. Again, without them kind of VFX in a game, it's hard for the player to really read what's happening. They're not kind of getting them visual cues, and it sort of hinders their progress. I think VFX might...
New 890 jump mission, those barriers are new? You sure?
That's in Star Citizen because
the
visuals are fantastic in our game. But without the actual VFX,
100%,
everything can look very static. There's not always the most tangible thing in a frame that the player sees, but when you take away VFX, they kind of notice that they're not there. I joined CIG 9 years ago, and there was quite a small group of us, actually. There was 3 or 4 of us, VFX artists. So originally, the VFX were struggling for consistency. It was obvious that it was a project in its very early days, and we were looking for that identity. We were looking for that kind of consistency of visuals, that language that can be understood by the player. And that's really why you build a team, why you build a department, to allow that kind of continuity in VFX.
Oh my God, PC, you just got dumpstered.
So really, in the 9 years that I've been here, we've kind of built a department, a proper department full of different skill sets, different disciplines. We've got a whole programming team, we've got production, we've got embedded QA, we've got concepts. We've obviously got artists as well.
Bro, they have more people in their VFX department than all of the best games I've played have full developers. The games that I've played in the last year that I've really enjoyed, they have more people in their VFX department than have delivered a decent game. Enhance, I don't think it says anything. It's just like lightning entity, target, mode.
Now have a coherence of visuals. We have a language that is understandable and works for the player. We had a good base in the...
So essentially, these guys are working on Squadron 42. Cool.
First place, but now the toolkit is really, really powerful, and it needs to be for the ambition of the VFX in the game. So the VFX team is basically a microcosm of game development. The team is currently 21 people. We also have a core team within that, being the programmers, the production
21 people,
the concept inside of it, and the QA side of it as well. And we need that because we're serving other departments. We're serving art, we're also serving design, And we need to have that kind of skill set within the team to be able to do all the things that are requested of us.
I'm Leo van Stinkesse. I'm
We've seen him a lot.
Principal VFX programmer. I do two things. I manage a small team, 3-4 people of VFX programmers, and I kind of handle the different projects that we have as a team that gets done. And then the second part is I do some programming myself as well. So I intentionally kept the team pretty small so that I have some time to program myself as well.
My name is Francesco. I am a
Dude, Emmy wants me to grow my hair out because she thinks it's going to look like this.
VFX programmer. We had a team of 4 VFX programmers, and the one that manages
Emmy
me
told
is
me to grow
Leo.
my hair
I
out.
Program specific graphics features and tools and other stuff related to VFX, specifically mainly for artists to be able to do work with and create really nice visuals from.
My name is Alexander. I'm on the VFX team.
Check the block of cheese? What?
Of 4 VFX programmers, and the one that manages me graphics features
Why is there a block of cheese on his desk?
and tools and other stuff related to VFX, specifically mainly for artists to be able to do work with and create really nice visuals from.
My name is Alexander. I'm on the VFX
Wait,
team.
there was another block of cheese.
My name is Alexander.
Right here.
I'm on the VFX team as a tools programmer. My job is to create sliders and UI elements to make it intuitive for the artists to work
Okay, there's some devs that work in that studio. Why are there just random blocks of cheese in the refrigerator?
with. We have a lot of different environments and effects, and we need to take care of every single one of them.
Wait, what else was on the desk? Was that, what is it called? Snoot or whatever? Yeah, what is that? Snooze, yeah.
Effects, and we need to take care of every single one of them. And it's my job to make sure that it's easy for an artist to work with different type of effects.
I'm Callum, and my job in the VFX team is assistant producer. So generally, day to day, I do scheduling and just supporting the team in anything that they need to do.
Those are
so they get to
Altoids?
focus on the creative things.
It looks like
whilst
snooze.
I deal with what they would class as the boring side of game.
Dude, what is this energy drink? I've never heard. What is Relentless? I guarantee this thing tastes like gasoline.
Development.
If the VFX team didn't have a producer, it would be horrible. He manages a lot and talks to other teams and makes sure we have all the information we need to be able to start working on a task. If we had to do that ourselves, that would be...
That guy didn't have cheese, he had a muffin.
That would be a lot of hours wasted every day.
The VFX editor is basically the place where you create the effects. You give it a texture or
All
a
right,
picture,
now we get to the juice.
and you change a
slide.
few values, and suddenly it moves, and you
Slide
see
over here.
coming to life. It could be a smoke, it could be a fire, it could be lightning. There is not much you can do without the code. That would make the artist a programmer.
We program everything related to VFX. That includes tools, that includes features, that includes smaller things like triggering VFX from game codes to system.
Bro, you make the game feel alive. You make the game feel alive.
For managing VFX,
100%.
making sure that VFX stay alive, that they die on time. As VFX programmer, we get to work closely with VFX artists.
My name is Kevin, and I am a VFX artist here at CIG.
Kevin has cheese on his desk as well.
90% of the effects we make in Star Citizen are particle effects. When you fire a weapon, at the end of the barrel, we will spawn a particle.
I'm sorry, look at how smooth that game looks. I want to play that game.
With a texture on it, and then we modify parameters to be able to make that look like a muzzle flash or smoke or whatever. So
Look at
basically
that.
we just have a bunch of parameters on how to spawn, how to move, and what a particle looks like.
Star Citizen is a really beautiful game.
Oh, pyro.
And VFX are a large part.
Got a little
Effects really
pyro.
need to be tailored for basically every possible situation. This gives a lot of opportunities for creating visuals and effects.
Was that a hab on fire? Is that a player hab? No. Oh, what is this? This is like okay. This is interesting. So this looks like an underground bunker. That's Lorville? No. It's in-game now? God damn it.
Opportunities for creating
Bro,
visuals and
PC,
effects
go outside.
in ways that you would normally not see in other
How do you
games.
know this?
The VFX needs to be seen from every angle, from a very far distance to very close up.
We have such varying scales from
Dude, I thought we were going to get a salvage bunker.
just small rooms to planets to ships
PC's wave 1.
and even just empty space itself.
Everything needs to be dynamic and systemic. So all the VFX, they are based on the underlying systems. We get to look at these systems, find the right hooks, and try and trigger the right effects at the right time. Getting
Wait, that's at Clovis Darneely, really?
all of that together to get a consistent whole is pretty challenging, but the results are always pretty cool.
The relationship within the team is very dynamic. We work together a lot, and it kind of depends on what you're working on to who's involved. Production tends
I think if you don't have cheese on your desk, you're not doing effective
to be
work.
involved a lot of the time, generally on a day-to-day basis.
Working closely with artists and obviously other programmers is pretty great. There is a lot of feedback and information circling around what parts of what you're working on you may want to improve on, or even what parts are working well and should be iterated on even
Whoa,
further.
did you see that?
It creates
All right, so like, listen, this is very much of a game dev episode, but there's little bits that we can be like, all right, well, they're clearly wanting to show fire propagation, I think. And this is like, you know, a little bit of like embers and stuff on, I guess embers can't really be in metal, but yeah, this looks like maybe like a laser. Like there's a lot of scoring and the little embering, like the lit up edges.
parts are working well and should be
Let them
iterated
cook?
on even
Okay.
further. It creates an environment in which no one feels like they're stuck on something.
So the VFX team, we're basically a support team for everyone else. We create effects for the vehicle team. We create effects for the locations teams, including planets. Any location you can think of, we're going to be adding effects to them in some form or other.
And then CIG takes those effects and makes them like weather effects and be there all the time instead of
gameplay as well.
only
Obviously,
some
all
of
of
the
these
time.
things are design driven, so we need to create effects that help designers provide that feedback to the player. We won't always be working on the effects at the exact same time.
We don't really come in towards the end because we don't want to work on something that's going to get changed eventually.
Of course.
Once a ship has been approved, that's when the VFX team starts to work on it.
Obviously.
Mostly people don't notice VFX. I think subconsciously they do. They look at a ship.
I don't think in Star Citizen I think people in Star Citizen notice VFX because there's so much fog, there's so many little, you know, light up things, moving parts. I think they've done such a good, like this team has done such a cool, good job with a lot of the things they've done that you actually do notice them and you can kind of appreciate them. But I think eventually as you continue to play that's probably true, is you don't notice them anymore. But when you first see them, you're like, whew, holy shit, this game looks good. You know?
And they see a cool thruster, or when it dies, a cool explosion or whatever.
But then again, we have the subtle effects. You don't notice it, and the less you notice it, the better it is. It just plays in with the whole environment.
We all notice the storms, dude. We all notice the storms, okay?
We provide a supporting role, and we contribute to making the game as good as we can. So the future of VFX at CIG is bigger and better, as cheesy as that might sound, but it's maintaining existing effects and it's building tools within the team that make that possible. So one example of kind of tool improvements to help us maintain as well as improve effects is external referencing.
Let's say you have two water effects. They look very alike, but there is a slight difference. And suddenly an artist makes an even better picture to use for these water effects. My job then was to implement a feature to just be able to change the picture of one effect and both of them change at the same time.
And what that's going to do is allow us to have a small group of master effects that we can then propagate to other effects libraries throughout the game. And it means we can maintain a smaller group of effects, and we can make sure that those improvements cascade throughout all the other libraries where those
I don't know what I'm looking at, but it sounds like they're very happy with it. So
type of effects
thumbs
will be
up,
used.
I guess.
Being able to have the same effect looking a bit different over two projects saves time for the artists, and it's easier for them to keep track of everything and upgrade the visual of an effect.
So that's going to streamline the process, absolutely. It's going to make it easier to keep a high quality, to keep updating and improving the high quality through the years as well.
So currently...
Okay, so if they decide that they want to have something look better, which of course Chris Roberts will always do, then they literally had to make a tool to deal with Chris Roberts exclusively. Well, Chris is going to want this VFX to look a little bit different a year from now, and we don't want to have to redo all the work all the time. So let's make a tool so when Chris comes in and says, can you make that a little bit different? They could just go, yeah, sure, and then, you know, press a button and it's done.
I'm working on lightning within gas clouds. We already have some lightning system in place, but now we're adapting it to be possible to strike from within gas clouds. This will give some extra...
This is interesting. Okay, lightning that will strike within gas clouds. So type 1 in chat if you think you'll see this in the PU. In the next year.
gameplay.
You think pyro, right? I don't even think pyro. So do you know what this is for? This is for Squadron 42. This is, yeah, this is for, it's, what's it called? Not the cloud, the coil. Yeah, it's for the coil.
Opportunities for designers and environment.
They'll probably use it in pyro somewhere.
Spawn lightning and
this shit's for the coil,
hit
bro.
ships, hit players, and make gas clouds more dangerous, I guess.
I think the lightning is cool, but I really like the new fire.
So something that we're really proud of and that we've been working on for a long time is fire propagation, so fire hazards, and that's being handled by our VFX programmers.
The fire hazard system
All right,
has
let's
already
see how this
existed
has
for a
progressed.
while, but it was never fully finalized on the visual side. So I'm currently implementing all the necessary backend features to get fire looking as good as possible. As part of the fire visuals, I am working on a more specialized way of spawning particles for fire, which creates a more interesting dynamic way in which fire propagates and the way things start to look charred after fire has been there for a while.
It's weird. I know the effect they're going for, but it has a little, would you call it like uncanny valley a little bit? I know, like, yeah.
Been kind of a long process and it's still ongoing.
It looks super good.
It's very complicated and it's very ambitious, but we're getting to a point now where I'm really, really happy with where it's going.
The fire hazard system itself is obviously gameplay critical.
That looks
good. The
good.
visuals obviously help to communicate where fire is present, how strongly it's there, and to give a...
Right? Like you could see right here, you could tell what they're going for if you've ever seen like a huge house fire or whatever on like TV or the news, that where it like goes up a wall. That's, yeah.
A real sense of danger for the room you're in, the actual damage that the fire is causing on rooms.
And even right here, you could see it's kind of like swirling. It does. I think they're doing the best to try to make it as real as possible, but you can also, at this point, you can kind of see behind the curtain a little bit, right?
Is communicated through these visuals.
I could tell that it's placed on this object instead of over the object. I think that's the part that makes it weird for me. We'll watch it
Obviously
again.
help to communicate where fire is present, how strongly it's there, and to give a real sense of danger for the room you're in. The actual damage that
Like
the fire is causing
here is
on
where it
rooms
all
is
breaks for me.
communicated through these visuals.
One of the best things about
But I still think in the moment there should be so much panic that you're not quite going to even notice that. You're just going to be like, oh my God, my ship is on fire. What do I do? So I think it's probably totally fine. I know what they're going for. And yeah, I think it's fine.
working on the VFX for Star Citizen is being able to see your work enter the game so quickly because we update the game so often. So being able to see your work in players' hands is always exciting.
You release a feature, some new VFX that are part of one of the releases, and you see players actually
see the difference. See how important
use
they
your
are.
system and kind of push it to the limit, and it's always great to see.
Working on Star Citizen in particular is especially good because Star
So
Citizen is a really good looking game. Working generally in graphics and VFX, I think personally is one of the more satisfying sort of disciplines when it comes to programming.
VFX is one of the big puzzle pieces to making the environment feel rich and full. I feel like that's one of the biggest gains of VFX, is making the game look beautiful.
Guys, I think Morph should have an Easter egg in the game, and I think it should be like his face on the A2 bombs.
Beautiful.
Just saying.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, hopefully we learned a bit more
We learned that there were 21 people in the VFX team.
about how downstream teams like VFX, these folks who generally come in towards the end of the pipeline, bring life, texture, and nuance to any game, add those finishing touches that elevate the amazing work of other teams, and add essential elements that
Oh, that is the spirit back there, yeah.
really make the difference between the immersive and the not immersive. Now don't forget that this year's Ship Showdown has begun, as well as a new initiative spotlighting the various missions in the verse. I'm pretty sure this week it's Salvage. You can check it all out now on the robertspaceindustriescom website. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
Okay. Baldur's Gate is out. We get it. We get it. Jared, there wasn't even an intro from Jared, was there? He was like, nah, man, I'm playing Baldur's Gate. All right. I'm just doing an outro for this one. That's it. SRV was on the left screen. Oh, ooh. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, that was ISC. Basically, that was as good of an ISC you can get for VFX, I think. That was pretty good. So, you guys want to see the SRV?
The pipeline.
I don't see the SRV. It looks like the Spirit to me. Nah, it's the Spirit. I didn't see the SRV, no. Where's the SRV? I'm trying to find it. Oh, here. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing because I'm in the way of it. There you go. That's the SRV. There you go.